Good morning, Thailand. My name is Alex.
And my name is Jay.
It is. And we have some news updates for you from around the land of smiles this Friday, January 24th. But before we begin, remember to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all things Thailand. Now, today, we'll be talking about a new drug hitting the streets known as Pod K. An announced crackdown on burning as pollution continues to choke Thailand. And a little later, warnings of World War III from Singapore's Prime Minister. But first, we're off to Phuket, where mammoth madness as an escaped elephant has sparked chaos. Yesterday morning, an escaped elephant roamed the streets of Chiang, Phuket. You're familiar with the area, Jay?
Yes.
Causing minor damage and distress. The incident began around 10 a.m. when the elephant fled its camp, tangled in scaffolding, and headed toward a local school. Panic peaked as it entered school grounds before wading into a nearby canal. Police, locals, and the Mammoth worked together to safely recapture the agitated animal, returning it to Elephant Care Park. The camp manager cited a car horn as the trigger for the escape. Despite the disruption, swift action ensured no injuries and minimal damage. Yeah.
Don't mess with the elephant.
Yeah, good
Make
news
space.
there. Yeah, it's just terrifying though, isn't it? Like, and again, the question of like the animal treatment always comes up. By all accounts, in this one, it was just kind of a freak accident from a place that does typically take good care of their elephants. But like, can you take good care if they are still so near, like roadways where these things can be agitated and cause a little chaos and strife?
I mean, generally people are quite decent with their horn. I don't think somebody saw an elephant and honked and tried to freak him out. Nobody wants to mess with an elephant, but yeah.
Anyways, fortunately, this one ended with relatively little damage.
All right. Well, for now, we're going to move on to our next story, which is regarding a Thai man with a disability loses a motorcycle to online acquaintance. Thanatat, a 33-year-old man with a disability, had his motorcycle stolen by a woman he met online in Nonthaburi. The woman, Kunji, reconnected with him after previously distancing herself and visited his apartment on January the 20th. While Thanatat showered, she fled with his motorcycle, a black Honda PCX worth over 100,000 baht. She later blocked him on Facebook. Thanatat filed a police report and shared his story online, appealing for help in recovering the vehicle. Reports suggest G has a history of theft, prompting calls for swift police action.
Jerk move, like while he's in the shower, like you know what? Peace. Like,
and just to double down on it, I'm gonna block you on Facebook.
Right? Like, but just blocking on Facebook doesn't mean police can't find out who you are. That makes
it official.
Yeah, I guess.
Blocking someone on Facebook, that's what gets it done.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. Like, they'll never find me.
I know your name. I know where you live. What's wrong with you?
Just insane stuff. And, it really sucks to do this to a guy already disadvantaged in life, obviously. So it's uncool. Hopefully the police can track her down and bring back his that's a nice bike too. Like spent over 100,000 baht on it. So yeah, I'm assuming he's gonna want that back and hopefully bring her to justice because she's got a history apparently. So sometimes you gotta actually put your foot down on these things.
Put it down.
Indeed. All right. Well, anyways, the ever-changing world of drugs, my friend.
Okay.
There are new things coming out all the time, and well, here's a new one for you today.
Tell me, Alex.
A Thai couple has been arrested for producing ketamine-laced Pod K. Police raided a luxury condo in Bangkok's Thonburi area on January 21st, arresting a Thai couple, Pond and Film, for producing and distributing Pod K, a ketamine-laced e-cigarette popular amongst teenagers, of course. The couple used line messaging and app-based delivery services to sell the flavored devices priced at 1,300 to 1,500 baht. Authorities seized ketamine-laced e-liquids, methamphetamine, ecstasy, drug-infused drinks, and other illegal substances. It was like a Willy Wonka in there. The suspects face charges for manufacturing and possessing narcotics, carrying potential penalties of up to 15 years in prison and fines of up to 2 million baht. Police are investigating potential accomplices in the operation. Pod K.
Pod K.
Who knew? An inhalable ketamine. But yeah, this they were up to a lot. And it's funny what people think they can get away with when they're in their like luxury apartment complexes and things like that, as these guys were. But it seems that that was still the police can still get past the security guards, I'm afraid. And serious punishments coming their way. So the crackdowns are on around Thailand.
Crackdowns are on.
Well. Anyways.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to our next story, taking us all the way to Pattaya, of course, as the Pattaya beach dispute turns violent over stolen mat.
Fight over anything, huh?
What could go wrong in Pattaya? Well, a dispute over a stolen beach mat escalated into violence on Pattaya Beach early on January the 22nd, leaving a 59-year-old vendor, Supani, injured. She confronted a fellow vendor, accusing him of stealing her marked mat, which had its identification erased. The accused, reportedly drunk, punched her in the face, leaving her with a bruised forehead. Witnesses confirmed prior tensions between the vendors who compete for business on the busy beach. The suspect admitted to the assault, citing frustration over the accusation. Police are investigating with potential charges of assault and theft.
Well, definitely assault. He even admitted to punching her in the face over this thing. Now, look, it's a he said, she said on the thievery of the mat, because she's like, what? It was marked clearly, but it was erased.
That's my mat. No, it's not. Does it have your name on it? Well, it's been erased.
Yeah.
Punch.
I'm inclined to side with her, particularly since he was drunk like in the midst of all of this as well. But obviously violence never the answer. But again, this is something that I say. It seems like we say it every single day. You got to be careful out there because you never know. Like I think I've said it before. Western anger is like a dial. It like ratchets up before we get to I want to see your manager kind of thing. In Thailand and in most of Asia, it's like a switch. Like people are like cool until they're erratically violent. So just practice being defensive. I think everybody be careful out there. It's not worth it over a stolen mat of all things. Like Jesus. All right. Well, we talk a lot about the pollution here pretty regularly, and it's unfortunately still news. And because of that, Anutin has ordered a crackdown on burning in order to combat the PM 2.5 pollution. So, Thailand's Interior Minister, Anutin, has directed provincial governors and district officers nationwide to enforce strict measures against open burning to tackle the rising PM 2.5 pollution. Offenders will face legal action. Secretary Chasuli reported on January 22nd that worsening air quality due to weather conditions is impacting public health. Anutin emphasized preventing agricultural and waste burning, major contributors to toxic dust, and urged collaboration among authorities to educate the public. The directive includes increased inspections and strict enforcement of penalties to reduce pollution, addressing the health risks posed by the persistent PM 2.5 crisis. I don't know. How have you been faring with the pollution these days, Jay?
Itchy throat.
Yeah.
Itchy eye.
Yeah.
I feel, constantly when I'm driving, I feel like there's something stuck in my eye.
It's horrendous. Like, fortunately for me, I live right next to where we work, so it's just like a quick spacewalk to get over here, and I can cover my mouth for it. Yeah. But yesterday I had to ride around on the bikes, and I had sinus problems all day as a result of it.
Yeah, I mean, I can feel it. Like when you go back home, you feel like you don't feel tired or anything. You just feel like, wait, have I been walking around toxic air? Why do I have a runny nose and an itchy eye and a sore throat? Yeah, you have been walking around hazardous air.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's very visible these days. Yeah. Kind of messed up our shoot yesterday. Yeah. We were supposed to do a shoot, like get some nice drone shots and things like that, but it looked like, a scene out of Blade Runner. Like, it's not great. So, anyways, stay safe out there. Wear your masks, guys. They do work in helping combat those
Allegedly.
issues. I mean, you got to get the right ones. Like,
PM 2.5 masks.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get the proper, not the surgical masks or whatever. It's not going to help.
All right, we're going to move on to our next story, which is regarding a foreign man who's been arrested in Chiang Mai for selling psilocybin mushrooms mixed with honey to tourists. The suspect reportedly married a Thai woman, operated from an unregistered shop on Ratchaviti Road in the Sri Phum district. On January the 22nd, anti-drug unit officers, following an investigation, raided the premises and seized 15 bottles of illicit substance. The man was charged with illegal possession of a Type 5 narcotic under Thai drug laws. This arrest highlights authorities' continued efforts to combat drug-related crimes in the country. Legal proceedings are underway. He is in a world of trouble.
Yeah, but it's also a weird thing. So, like, because the magic mushrooms, this is kind of like one of those semi-gray areas in Thailand. There's talk about legalizing them in the near future.
Magic mushrooms are so good.
Allegedly. Jesus Christ.
Allegedly, of course.
But yeah, in any case, the point is the crackdown like, I don't know if this is because he was Farang or something like that too, but there are certainly plenty of shops out there. Like, we've done these stories before about like even cannabis dispensaries that are selling them sort of under the table and things like that, and they crack down on them when they find them. But for everyone they catch, there's probably a ton out there that are just still operating, maybe paying some tea money or whatever, allegedly, to stay in operation. But another one of those things where we've already done this with cannabis. The world seems to be looking more closely at these mushrooms as well as a potential drug that can be legalized, as it has been in places like the Netherlands, right? So there's already precedent for this around the world, and Thailand has shown to be very progressive on this issue, but still not for now. So be careful out there if you're trying to sell. You could be arrested and do some serious time. So we're done with the Thailand section of the news, guys. We're on to the greater ASEAN region. And our first stop is Singapore, where the Singapore Prime Minister is warning of a global risk, potentially of World War III, if U.S.-China rivalry forces sides. So Singapore Prime Minister Lawrence Wong cautioned against a forced alignment with the U.S. or China, warning that such polarization could lead to a third world war. Speaking at the National University of Singapore, Wong highlighted the dangers of missteps in areas like the South China Sea or Taiwan Strait, stressing the importance of non-alignment for Southeast Asian countries like Singapore. While Wong doubted the likelihood of a full U.S.-China split, he noted the mutual economic reliance, emphasizing the potential harm to the U.S. economy if it severed ties with China. His remarks come as Trump suggests new tariffs on Chinese goods, renewing trade tensions. Beijing reaffirmed its stance against trade wars, underscoring their mutual economic interdependence. There's stark warnings coming out of Singapore, which of course has strong ties with both the West and China as well. It's a very stern warning from him, using very strong rhetoric in order to try and bring attention to this issue. I would agree. I think that the interdependence, this is one of the things about being so economically interdependent, is that it's not beneficial to cut off these relationships and go to war with each other over petty things, because everybody ends up losing a ton of money. Yeah. So, anyways, hopefully we can pay attention to this advice and maintain our delicate peace. Moving on.
We're going to go to Indonesia now. More unfortunate news. Indonesia floods and landslides claim 21 lives as searches continue. Flooding and landslides in Indonesia's central Java province have killed 21 people, with rescuers recovering 4 more bodies as operations resumed. Torrential rains caused rivers to overflow, damaging 9 villages and burying homes under mud and debris. The disaster destroyed 25 houses, 3 bridges, and a dam in Pekalongan City, displacing nearly 300 people. Rescuers continue searching for 5 missing individuals amid the devastation, which included the tragic loss of a 5-month-old baby. Heavy rains from October to March often lead to such disasters in Indonesia, where many live in flood-prone or mountainous regions.
Terrible stuff. Horrifying.
Terrible stuff, yeah. Sad news.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you can't really prepare for. Like, people are living in these risk-prone areas because, well, the land is cheap there. And why is the land cheap there? Because it's landslide prone. So people will continue to populate these areas. The warning signs will be out there, but particularly during rainy season, I don't know what the solution is. Like, people need to live somewhere, and as long as there are rains and there is land in Indonesia, this is going to continue to happen. So I'm not sure what's to be done, but it is tragic no matter what. Mandalik says, Indonesia is susceptible to natural calamities often, unfortunately. Well said, Mandalik. It is unfortunate. All right, moving on to our next story, which is, again, some sad news, and this time coming out of Phnom Penh. A charity event in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, turns deadly as 4 have been killed with 5 injured. A charity event at Tycoon Sok Kong's villa in Phnom Penh ended in tragedy on January 23rd when overcrowding caused chaos, leaving 4 elderly people dead and 5 others injured. Crowds had gathered to receive red envelopes containing 40,000 riel and 2 kilograms of rice, but the swelling numbers led to suffocation and fainting incidents. Emergency teams led by Phnom Penh Governor Kuang Srang and Deputy Governor Sok Penvut responded swiftly, transporting victims to hospitals. Despite efforts, 2 died at the Calmet Hospital and 2 at Ong Duong Hospital. Authorities at Song Kong provided financial aid to victims' families, offering 15 million riel per deceased and 4 million riel per injured person. just seems like horrendous planning here. They didn't have the control. Like, they're dangling the carrot, right? Come through, you'll get some red packets, Chinese New Year thing. You'll get some rice, and of course Cambodia, which has a very big problem with poverty in general. That's going to bring out throngs of people, and they were not prepared for the crowd control at all. So in this case, unfortunately, there was some loss of life. And, no amount of money is going to bring them back. So I guess they're trying to get ahead of the bad news and whatever maybe lawsuits could come as a result of this. But in any case, it just is a warning that if you're going to put on these kinds of charitable events, which, good for them for being charitable in the first place, you got to make sure that you have the infrastructure in place so that this doesn't happen.
All right. For now, we're going to move on to our next story, which is regarding a gymnast. Levi Jung-Ruivivar takes leave to heal from eating disorder. Now, Filipino-American gymnast Levi Jung-Ruivivar, 18 years old, announced a leave of absence from Stanford to focus on recovering from a eating disorder. A member of Team Philippines in the 2024 Paris Olympics, Ruivivar shared her struggles had impacted her gymnastics training and academic life, prompting her decision to redshirt the NCAA season and step away during Stanford's winter break. In a heartfelt statement, she emphasized the importance of transparency to reduce shame and support others facing similar challenges, saying, "You are not alone." Ruivivar, the youngest member of the Philippines Olympic delegation, aims to return to school and training by spring quarter. Yeah, man. I mean, young adults in general, but especially athletes, they go through a lot of mental issues.
Yeah, it's obviously there's the pressures. Being on the Olympic team, Stanford athletics are no joke. It's pretty high level stuff, and so this seems like it's just been a very, very high pressure situation for her that led her to develop a disorder, which is obviously unfortunate. And again, so young, right?
Yeah.
This is it's one of the
An Olympic athlete. I mean, that's a lifestyle of just like constant practice, sometimes double practices, eating healthy, eating for performance, even not just for enjoyment. And people struggle. So great for her to stand up for it and kind of talk about it. And we wish her that she comes back stronger.
Yeah, I mean, these are like role models, and the fact that like role models come out and talk about their weaknesses, I think is very brave and is encouraging to other people that if they are facing some similar issues, to seek help, as she has done and as she's doing to try and get back on track. So good for you, girl. Get back on that saddle, I say.
All right. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are some of the stories from across Thailand and ASEAN. For now,
yeah, let me do a plug real quick at the end. By the way, I just want to. I'm going to be doing this on the live show. I hope you don't mind. Pattaya. If any people are tuning in from Pattaya, I'm going to put the ticket link in the chat right now. Please do come February 7th. I'll be down putting on a comedy show. It's going to be comedy magic music. We're going to have everything down in Pattaya on February 7th. So please, the early bird tickets, I think have finally ended. I'm so sorry, but it's not that big of a price difference, honestly. And the advanced sale tickets are still better than buying them at the door. So please do consider going and checking out that ticket link that I've just dropped in the chat. You can find it at megatix.com. Look up Leaf Laugh Love Comedy. But yes, now that'll do it. You can always go to thetiger.com for more news updates throughout the day. We keep things posted pretty much constantly. We have a lot of news stories coming out, so you can stay up to date on all of the stories that we don't cover here on video. You can also go to ASEANnow.com, which is Thailand's largest English language forum. Join the conversation. But that'll do it. And now let's get into the comments and see what's up.
Yeah.